Morning, Quadcopter 101 here with a review of the new 1808 Falcon 4K foldable drone. So what is the Falcon? Well, looking right now, you can see this is a brushed motor drone, okay? Let's open it up, show what it is, a folding drone. But it's very tiny. Wait, before I open it up, let me show you this thing, how tiny this thing is in my hand here, holding it in my palm. You can hold the whole drone in your palm. Now, being tiny, it's also very lightweight. It's only 117 grams with the battery installed. So for those of you that need to keep it below 250 grams, this is well below 250 grams. Also, it's small and unobtrusive, even when it's extended, when its arms are extended. This is a small drone that you're not likely to get a lot of complaints about it, you know, being so small and relatively quiet. Also, it's not a long distance flyer either, so this isn't going to be flying over your neighborhood very far to create problems. Okay, a lot of people like to get these big heavy drones that fly out a kilometer. Those can create problems, but this is, again, a beginner's learn to fly drone. Less likely for you to get into trouble with this particular drone. Now, what's special about it, besides it being folding, is that it also has optical flow sensor in the belly. Okay, this little camera looks at the ground and maintains the drone's horizontal position over the ground without you needing to fly it or correct for error. You know, even with a little bit of wind, this should hold its position very well. You can also record video through this little camera in the belly if you want to look, get video looking directly down below. However, the video quality is not the greatest. Okay, it's like a little 720p camera in there. Speaking of the camera, it also has a either 2K camera, which is 2048 by 1080 pixel, or a 1080p camera, which is 1920 by 1080 pixel. Selectable when you purchase this. The 1080p version is actually $10 cheaper than this 2K version or 4K version. When they say 4K, I want you to remember 4K video is not, you're not going to get 4K video from the camera. The sensor is actually one of the old 2K sensors that were around about, I don't know, about 5-7 years ago. People were spouting 2K, and then 4K came along and people forgot all about 2K. But those sensors are still out there that they had manufactured for 2K, and this is one of those 2K sensors. Again, you can get either the 2K version or a 1080p version. I got the 2K version, but it's $10 more, so if your cost is an issue, you can get the 1080p version for a lot less. Actually, I think it's only $33. It's not too bad. Okay, what are the things about this? I mentioned folding. It comes with a 3.7 volt 1100 milliamp hour battery. That's a pretty big battery for this small drone. It's supposed to give it 15 minutes of flight time. We'll actually see if that actually happens when we fly it. But you can purchase this with one battery, two batteries, or three batteries. The cost of each battery adds an additional $5 to the cost of the drone. So if you're considering this particular drone and considering flying it for extended periods, you might want to invest another $5 to $10 to get the extra battery or extra two batteries that come with it. And it also comes with this battery charger for the battery. It has a little 3.7 volt charger with a pH 2.0 millimeter connector, also known as MCPX connector. And that's actually what's on the battery itself here. Now, it's inserted here, so if you have a pH 2.0 charger, you're going to need an adapter cable to be able to charge this particular drone with your 3.7 volt charger. Otherwise, use the provided charger that comes with this. Other things you get in the box, you get a full set of spare prop guards. Full set of prop guards, actually. Now, these are only for use indoors, folks. Don't you put these on outdoors. It degrades performance of the drone, for one thing. And another thing is, if you accidentally crash into a tree, they end up as Christmas tree ornament hooks and will hold your drone up in the sky indefinitely in the tree. So, again, only for indoor use would you consider using these. Additional things you get in the package is a spare set of propellers, clockwise and counterclockwise propeller, along with a screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver for changing that propeller. And finally, you get the operation guide, which is not that great. It's actually translated from Chinese to English, apparently using Google. I had a hard time understanding it. But other things you get is the app software instructions along with the link for where to download the app for your phone. Now, what does the app do? That gives you control of the video and also control of certain features of this drone. And it does have some advanced features, including gesture control, where you can start and stop a video or a photo. You can take a photo by giving it a V sign, and start and stop videos by raising your palm up in front of it if you wish to do that. It also has tracking mode, which supposedly will track you optically. We'll see how well that works, along with waypoints and also palm control, which you can make the drone move right, left, up, or down with your palm. Let's see, did I forget to mention? It also has altitude hold. I forgot that, along with headless mode. You can do that. Again, the 1080p 4K camera, I didn't mention that the camera can be swiveled up or down manually before flight using your hand, and then you go fly with the angle that you got set. Now, being a cheap drone, this is not meant for professional photography, not meant for, don't expect the best is what I'm saying here, folks. Especially at the $33 and $43 price range this particular drone is at. Some of the cons about it is it does not have any onboard memory storage, okay? I think they were planning to put an SD card in here, SD card slot here, but it wasn't incorporated. So without onboard memory storage, that means expect frozen frames, frame dropping in your video, okay? It's not going to be the best video. We're going to see frozen frames and frame dropping. And another thing is, this uses 2.4 gigahertz. Now, there's a pro to that in that everybody's phone, 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi FPV. Everybody's phone can use, these days, 2.4 gigahertz. The downside of that is expect decreased range of FPV and control range, because the controller also operates on 2.4 gigahertz and creates some interference with the Wi-Fi signal. And the Wi-Fi signals create some interference with the control signal. So with that, you're going to lose, expect control ranges of, I don't know, about 70 meters, under 70 meters. And FPV ranges, I don't know, about 50 meters. We'll find out when we go out in the field and actually try it. This is its controller. It uses 3.7 volt, or what am I saying? 1.5 volt batteries, like regular batteries. The AAA. Notice I used nothing but the best hydros. I go through a lot of these dollar store batteries, but they work well, especially with the toy drones. But let's go over the controller. What you got here is you have this is for inserting your phone. It'll hold, I don't know, not very large phones. Don't expect this to hold a tablet, but it'll hold your average phone in there. The controls on it, you have on and off switch here. You activate or connect the drone or the controller to the drone by an up and down movement. You turn on the drone first, turn on the controller, then up and down movement on the throttle. We have throttle control, we have yaw control, and we have pitch control and roll control. So this is a mode 2 controller. In the instruction manual, it lists this as fine tuning, which suggests it would be trim control. But when you press it, you hear a beep, beep, beep. That's telling me this is probably your rates control button, which means if you press this, you probably get greater speed on the drone than in beginner and expert mode, they would call that, with this particular button here. Now, the buttons on the top here, they are well labeled. I'm surprised in English. But this one here is for automatic takeoff and automatic landing by a quick press. And if you hold the button down, it is an emergency stop, which will stop the motors of the drone. Now, you want to use that in case you crash the drone or it ends up in a tree or a bush. Press that emergency stop to stop those motors immediately to prevent them from burning out. That's what you want to do that, have that for. This button here on the right, if you push into it, it enters into headless mode, and press it again, it comes out of headless mode. And if you hold it down, it does a 1-key return, which means the drone will fly in the opposite direction it was pointed when it took off. And over here, we actually have photo button and video start-stop button, and these actually work. I tried them, surprisingly. Most of these Wi-Fi FPV flyers, these are inoperative, but for this particular drone, these do work. So this will take a photo, and this will start to stop video. So that's the controller. Now let's go out in the field and fly it. So hope you enjoy this flight. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and we are out at one of my favorite flying fields with the 1808 Falcon. Let's send it up and see what it can do. Okay, to start this up, it has an on-off switch right there. So you got to put it on a flat level surface, like so, and then press and hold that on-off switch until the drone comes on. And let's verify that by some lighting. Yeah, we have blinking red lights on the back. It shows we have power. Now you turn on the transmitter next. Make sure we got, you have to hold this button down to turn on the transmitter. And do I got lights there? I'm looking, but I'm not seeing. There, yeah, I got red lights now. So we have power on this, and to bind this to the drone, you have to move the throttle switch up, then down. And now it is bound to the drone. We should be ready to go. To take off, all you got to do is give it throttle. That starts the motors, and that stops the motors. Now, in the instructions, it says to start the motors by bringing both sticks down and to the right. That is wrong. All that does is a compass or a gyro calibration when you do that. When you bring both sticks down and to the right, that calibrates the gyro. So the instructions is wrong about that. Now, let me turn on the Wi-Fi of my phone, connect to it, and then you get the FPV, and we'll go for a flight. So hold on, folks. Okay, this is the HFun app available on Google Play and iTunes. And to start the HFun app, all you got to do is hit start while in flight mode, okay? Master mode is where this is. I'll show you that later, but that's where auto tracking comes into play with master mode. But all we got to do is hit start to bring up the FPV video, hopefully. There we go, we got FPV. So we are ready to go. Now to start the video recording, you press and hold this button here. Just a quick press, and we see that we are recording. And again, to start the motors, press up on this throttle, like so. And then to take off, all you got to do is hold this left button one time. And we saw we had a little bit of a drift there. When I did that compass calibration, obviously that was not level. But the auto stabilization, or the optical tracking, has taken effect. Let's go up a bit higher and check out how well that tracking is working. Seems to be working well. So, my first question is for you folks out there is, how do you like my shirt today, folks? So, let's set it up and show the camera. That's the first thing we're going to do. Going up, and it's overhead there, and I'm going to rotate from up there. By the way, those of you wondering where I've been, folks, for the past month, I haven't done any videos for the past, it's almost 2 months now. This city that you see here in the video is Ridgecrest, California. And those of you that were watching the news around July 4th and July 5th, we had 2 very severe earthquakes, 6.4 and 7.1 magnitude. And because of that, I had some damage to my house, and my family also is shaken up quite a bit by that. So I had to evacuate out of town for a while. We went to Pennsylvania for about a month, just to get my family's nerves back to normal. Hey, this is a nice flyer. Enough about the earthquakes. Let's just fly this around and see how it works. Okay, I'm at a distance about 40 meters away, and it is flying very nicely. I gotta say, this is a nice beginner's drone. Now keep in mind, this is a beginner's drone. It is not meant for professional photography. This is a learn to fly drone, especially at the $33 price and $43, I guess, for the 4K version. But what I'm seeing so far, folks, this is a very nice flyer. It's doing a real good job, especially holding its position. It's doing a nice job. So let's see what type of range we can get with this video. Okay, I'm looking at the screen, and we're going to fly outbound until we lose some chop here in the video. Okay, the video froze there, so that's about the range there, about 40 meters it looks like for the video range. Control range is probably going to go out a lot farther, but it is a nice flyer, and very fast flyer too, and I'm in beginner's rate, I think. Let's bring it back again. This is an amazing little flyer for the price. It trucks. It really does. Turning it, coming back. Now, no flip buttons. I'm glad to see they got rid of the flip buttons on these things. Those were just a waste of time, in my opinion. But let's bring it down and see how it steadies itself again. Letting go of the stick. Okay, I am directly overhead. While there, let me stop that video recording. And we're going to switch cameras using the app. Pressing this button here. Okay, looking down at me. Now this is that belly camera. Like I said, folks, it's awful. But starting the recording, just showing you the belly camera, and we're going to do an up and away. Going up, 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 up. Okay, that's the belly camera. So I'm going to stop that video recording and switch back to the normal camera, front camera. And we're going to go forward again. Okay, now I want to come down here, folks, because this thing is moving so fast. Does it have a higher rate? I'm curious about that. Higher rate flight. Because that's pretty darn fast just for that type of rate. So bringing it back over, let go of the sticks. Let's see how long it takes to stop itself. Right about there. Not too bad. Okay, it's holding its position all by itself with that optical flow sensor. Doing a real good job. Starting the video camera again. Recording. Now, I am going to press this button here, which I think is the rates button. And I'm hearing 2 beeps now. Let's see if it goes faster. Oh my gosh. This thing's a little rocket. So, yeah, at this price, $43 for the 2K version, 2K 4K version, and $33 for the 1080p version. I think this is a bargain, folks. This is a really nice flyer. A really nice flyer. And you know, you don't have mega range on this with this 2.4 gigahertz, but I don't think that's an issue. 2.4 gigahertz should be fine for most people if you're keeping it in the distance that we've been flying today. If you want to go long distance, you're going to have to pay more, you know. But for a beginner learning to fly, this one is a nice one. I kind of like it. So let's try some of those advanced features of this thing. Coming down, namely the optical tracking. Can we switch to that while we're in this boat here? Going up a bit higher. I'm going to stop the video right there and start it again. And then hitting flight mode. Submit. Now we're in master mode and it sees me. See the blue box, folks? Now I'm going to hit that blue box, change it to red, and it should be tracking me. So let's see if it does track me. It's trying, but it's not moving. Mainly because I'm probably controlling it with the controller. Maybe I need to switch to controlling it with the phone only to get this optical tracking to work. And probably the other advanced features too. In the upper right corner here, we select that box. Let's turn off master mode, back to flight mode. And in the upper right corner, let's try Waypoint. See if Waypoints works while we're using the controller. Sliding forward. Nope. So again, you have to be flying with a phone to use the advanced features. We'll do that here shortly. Let me stop that recording and come out of this by pressing that button there, going to flight mode again. Submit. Okay, back to flight mode. Starting the video camera one more time. Again, this time we're going to focus on the camera and we're going to fly it until the battery dies. Then I have a second battery, folks, and then we're going to fly it with the phone only, using the phone, so that we can try out those advanced features that this supposedly has using the HFun app. Now the HFun app has been used by lots of different drones lately, folks. It is a very capable program, I gotta admit that, but it also depends, the performance of that also depends on the performance of your phone, you know, what type of phone you have, particularly the processor in the phone. Because a lot of the drones I see also have been using auto stabilization through the HFun app, and my phone just doesn't have the power to do electronic image stabilization of the video. Okay, so with that, let's bring it down a little lower here. Is it holding its position there? We're about 15 feet in the air. It looks like it's holding its position. Let's bring it right overhead here. And I'm going to go up higher until it doesn't hold its position anymore. We'll find out what that distance is. Okay, hold it there. Let go of the stick. Okay, let's climb up a bit higher. We're about 20 feet up, I'm guessing. Still holding its position, folks. That's pretty good. Going up a bit higher. 25 feet up, I'm guessing. Maybe about 30 feet up.
still holding its position, so it's doing a darn good job, I gotta admit. Going up higher, about the height of the lamps here, the lights show up in the video. We're almost at the height of the lights. Let's go up until we do see the lights, see if it holds its position then. I see the lights. We're as high as the lights. I'm not sure how high these lights are, but it's drifting now though. So, and I've lost control. Come back down. Come back down. Come back down. Okay, got signal. That was scary. Okay, so if you fly out of range of the controller, it was just hovering there. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, folks. I finally got signal back again. So if you are flying this thing, keep it close. Also, it's landing itself. That's low battery. Low battery landing. But I had lost control of the drone there for a bit. I was trying to get it to move and come back down, but it wouldn't do it. Okay, so let's stop that was that video even recording? Probably not. So let's change the battery out and try those advanced features, see how they work. So hold on, folks. Okay, I've restarted the drone, reconnected it to my phone. The controller is turned off, so we're going to fly strictly with the phone. Now, before we take off, I'm going to hit calibrate. And our calibration is finished. And then I'm going to hit start. See if we've got FPV video. Wait a second here. FPV video. We got video. So we are good to go. Okay, I'm going to start recording the video. Video is recording. Then start the motors. Let's see if it starts them. Yes, it does. And I am just going to hit the automatic takeoff button here on the app. And does it say anything? No, it's not. So I'm going to give it throttle. The auto takeoff button did not seem to work with the app. Okay, it does that usual drift that it did before. Let's scope it a bit higher. It stopped itself from drifting. I'm in the picture. I'm going to come down a little lower too. I want to be right about there. Now, we're going to hit master mode. Flight mode down in the lower corner. Hit submit. And am I showing up as a blue box? I am. And then I'm going to hit that blue box with my finger. And it flies right toward me. It flew right toward me. So, that's interesting. Let's turn it around. I got to come out of flight mode here. Cancel here. Turning it. Rotating. Do I show up? I'm showing up, but I'm not showing up in the blue box. What I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to land this. And the reason I want to land it is I want to lower that camera downward, like so, 45 degrees down, because I want to fly a bit higher, because if it's going to fly over my head like that, I don't want it hitting me. Okay, so I got a point of 45 degrees down this time. So we should be good to go. Stopping the video. Starting the video one more time. Starting the motors. Taking off. Popping it there. Going up a bit higher. Right there. Then hitting flight mode again. Submit. And that puts us in master mode. There's the blue box again. And pressing on the blue box to turn it red. And it flies right over my head. And then it stops. So that tracking, I don't know how well that is actually working. Turning it to the left here. Let's see if the blue box shows up again. Master mode, submit. Okay, blue box showing up. Hitting the blue box. And it flies over my head. And it continues on and then stops itself. So that is the tracking mode of this. I don't know how well that's actually working. Okay, it flew out of range of my phone too, and when it did that, it landed itself. I saw the back lights blinking, so I am going to stop the video recording. Well, the video recording automatically stopped when it flew out of range of my phone. So let's raise up the camera and try out the other features, namely the Waypoint flying feature of this. Going back over to my pad and putting the drone on the ground, checking that we have FPV. We do. Starting the video recorder again, throttle up, take off. Okay, in the upper right corner we're going to click those boxes, and We're going to select the third one there, the squiggly line one, and then we're going to draw something for it to do. So forward, right, okay, forward. Oh, actually this is actually working better than most of the other ones that I've used, because normally these have very short range. Let's see it go fine. Let me get in the view of the camera. I'm going to fly it backwards and then forwards. Draw a backward line and then a forward line. Here's the forward line. Get out of the way. So it does the forward line much more faster than the backward line. There's it balancing itself out again. Let's try that again. Backwards. One more. Backwards. 2 times. Okay, and then forward and then to the right. Going forward, stopping, and then let's try the right again. That's about as far as it goes with the right. So that's the waypoint feature. It does kind of work. Not the greatest waypoints in the world, but let's turn that off now. Okay, the other thing I haven't demonstrated yet is pictures. Let's stop the video recording and get in the view. This is supposed to take 4K photos. Okay, I'm going to have a hard time displaying 4K photos because I'm showing this in 1080p when I do release this, unfortunately, because I just am. But let's hit the picture take button. Did it take? It's recording it. Yeah. It's downloading it. It takes a while to download that 4K photo when you take one of these, so you got to wait a few seconds here to finish. On the bar there, if you notice the recording. Am I recording, by the way? Bob is in. Nope. I got to stop this because I got to start recording Mob is in again. And that's the end of the flight. That's the end of the battery, it looks like. Okay, I have the video back again. So I'm not sure what happened there, but we're going to start the motors again. See if we can take off one more time. Going up a bit higher. Let it stop itself again. I'm flying strictly using the phone. I want to take one more photo. Did it take? Yeah, it's downloading it. See how long it takes to download these 4K images? So if you do use this, and it's running out of power again, so that's the end of the battery. I guess I didn't charge it up all the way. And HFun has stopped, it says. So that is the flight of the Falcon. I demonstrated its advanced features of follow me and its advanced features of waypoint flying. There's other features like gesture control. I'm not really a fan of those. I just use the button. But you can start and stop the video supposedly by throwing your fingers up in front of it, and 2 fingers giving a victory sign. And to start and stop the video, again, you use your palm. But those are other features that this has. So that is the HFun Falcon. I think this is actually a very good beginner's drone, you know, especially at the price for the 1080p version. That is a bargain, the current price for this of the 1080p version. The 4K version, that's nice. We'll see how well that video came out. It's actually a 2K sensor, folks. That I believe they interpolate the photos up to 4K resolution, but the sensor itself seems to be a 2K sensor left over from the days of when 2K was thought going to be a thing someday. So, okay, I hope you enjoyed this flight. Again, this is Quadcopter 101 with the 1808 Falcon signing out.
Hi, Quadcopter 101 here again. Hey, if you want to get your own shout out in one of my future videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's real simple. Just go to my channel page and click on that subscribe. And also make sure to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release a brand new video immediately and give you a chance to get that first shout out. So give it a try, folks.